The four instruments will be employed in this study, including an academic achievement test, a questionnaire, an English speaking evaluation form, and an interview protocol. In the academic achievement test will measure the participant listening and the speaking test, and this test from language teaching testing center at elementary level. In the listening comprehension test contains 3 parts, and each part contains 10 questions with 3 alternative answering choice. The first part is picture description, statement response, and the question. In the speaking test, it also contains 3 parts. The first part is the student have to read the passage, and they have to repeat the words, and they have to answer the question. And it takes 5 minutes to the speaking test. And the questionnaire is the 5 Likert scale. 1 stands strongly disagree, and 5 stands strongly agree. Before the study, the participant will assign the consent form to agree during the study. And it takes 5 minutes for the consent form, with 15 minutes for the questionnaire. And in the questionnaire, it contains 3 parts. The first part is individual background survey, the second part is the perceptual learning style preference, and the third part is learning motivation. The perceptual learning style preference was adopted by Joey Ray in 1995, and it contained 28 items. And the questionnaire of the learning motivation was adopted by Climate in 1994, and it contained 20 items. The quantified alpha of the perceptual learning style preference is 0.87, and the quantified alpha of the learning motivation was up to 0.95. And here are the subscale of the questionnaire. The subscale of the individual background survey are gender, age, experiences, and their English proficiency. And the subscale of the perceptual learning style preference contain visual, auditory, kinesthetic, tactile, and group. And the subscale of the learning motivation contain integrative, instrumental, and the motivational achieving learning goal. Here comes the sample. The table 1 shows the samples of the questionnaire of the individual background survey. For example, the participant have to check which statement is related to their learning experience. And the table 2 shows a sample of the questionnaire of the perceptual learning style preference. And the participant have to circle which degree is related to their learning experience. Also, the table 3 shows a sample of the questionnaire of the learning motivation. Also, the participant have to circle which is related to the learning feeling experience. And an English speaking evaluation form will be employed to assess the participant's overall test. And as the same grading criteria for the class instructor and the other rater. And the grade item will be divided into 5 parts. Appropriateness, fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and the content. And each part takes 20%. And to gather more objective data, the participants' overall test will be measured by the class instructor and English experienced English instructor for many years. And the class instructor has been teaching English for more than 15 years. And her expertise on cooperative learning. And the researcher also employed the interview protocol to prove the students' perception of inference on different teaching methods. And 12 interviewees who consent to the interview will join the interview. And 2 are from high achiever, intermediate achiever, and low achiever. And the duration of the interview will conduct from 15 minutes to 20 minutes. And the interview will be kept recorded under interviewee consent. And since the interviewee will be encouraged to express their thoughts as much as possible, so they are allowed to speak in Chinese. And the interview protocol concerns 5 major successful cooperative learning. Positive independent, fast-to-fast interaction, individual accountability, and social and small group skill and group processing. Here are the sample of the interview question. For example, I will ask the interviewee what's their opinion of the teaching strategy in this semester. the experimental design, and there will be 23 participants in the control group, and there will be 16 participants in the experimental group. And students in the control group will be taught by the traditional learning, and students in the experimental group will be taught by cooperative learning. And students in the control group were not assigned into group. However, students in the experimental group will be assigned to heterogeneous group based on their listening and oral proficiency. And the implementation will be conducted for 1 semester, 2 periods a week, and use the same material and same instructor. In the traditional learning classroom, students listen to and repeat the dialogue, and students work independently and compete with one another. And the teacher is the instructor while students are listening. And in the cooperative learning, the student will be taught by the STEP, that is Student Team Achievement Division, and the Jigsaw tool. And the STEP will employ 5 steps. At the beginning of the class is the teacher's lecture, and the follow-up is the team study. That the team members have to tutor each other to understand the material. And then is the class presentation, and to demonstrate the individual accountability, so the student have to take the individual quizzes. And the final step is group recognition. It refers to which group is the best and to give the rewards. And also here are the procedure of the Jigsaw tool. Also at the beginning of class is the teacher's lecture. Follow-up is cooperative learning, preparation pair, and they have to practice with their pair. And the final part, they have the team performers. Here comes the data collection. The score of academic achievements, the results of questionnaire, of learning style preference, and the learning motivation. And the data of the interview will be collected. And the final part of my presentation is data analysis. The descriptive statistics will be used to explain the mean score, the standard deviation of the participants' demographic interview. And the ANCOVA will be used to examine the significant difference on the post-test of the learning achievement for the research question 1, and independent sample test will measure the significant difference between 2 classes for the research question 2 and 3. And the constant comparative analysis will be to the interview data for the research question 4 and 5.
Good. And final one, suggestion.
Suggestion.
Many suggestions. Don't get panicked. Just 2. What are they?
In my paper, there are some, the committee member find some grammar error, and from Western perspective, the committee member think the pattern not to write the correct. The pattern is not the correct.
The structure, the sentence structure, or the format of your writing?
Yes, the format.
Format. So you mean the headings of your, what's it?
Heading, not heading, just
the organization of the writing.
The writing. The meaning from Chinese is okay, but in the Western, it's not okay.
That's the format of your writing. Okay, so it's kind of Chinglish. It's not the English style.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the second suggestion is the interview question will be designed to the research question directly.